Opinion reign of hurt sentiments will destroy democracy. The Supreme Court has rightly slammed the Karnataka government and the state film chamber for siding with the enemies of free speech. The apex court was aghast that no action was taken against those who threatened violence over the release of actor-politician Kamal Hassan's movie, Thug Life. The state government told the court that it had not imposed any restrictions on the film and also pledged to provide full security if the producers chose to release it. It was heartening to see in this case that the SC not just gave relief to the Thug Life makers but also wanted action against those who had issued threats. The apex court bench, headed by Justice Ujjuyan, was hearing petitions on June 19 filed by the Thug Life producer and a third party seeking guidelines on hate speech and threats of violence. Thug Life was scheduled for release in Karnataka on June 5, but got embroiled in controversy following Hassan's comment that the Kannada language was born out of Tamil. The comment was widely resented by pro-Kannada groups, which demanded an apology from Hassan. Taking a brave stance, he refused to apologize, despite the threat of imminent commercial losses because of the non-release of the movie in the state. The Karnataka Film Chamber of Commerce KFCC also took a tough stand, saying that Thug Life would not be released without an apology from Hassan. When Hassan approached the Karnataka High Court, it chided him for his remarks and asked him to apologize. When the matter reached the Supreme Court, it not only criticized the Karnataka government but also reprimanded the state high court for having urged Hassan to apologize. There is something wrong with the system when one person makes a statement and everyone gets involved. Why should the high court say express an apology? That is not its role, the SC said. On June 17, the Supreme Court pointed out that the rule of law requires a person to be able to release a film that has been certified by the Central Board of Film Certification (CBFC). The court warned the state that it could not allow mobs and vigilante groups to take over, asserting that public sentiment should not override legal rights. It was only after the SC snubbed that the Karnataka government pledged to maintain law and order and ensure the peaceful release of Thug Life. The government clarified that it had not imposed any restrictions on the film's release and would provide necessary protection and security. This was not the first case in which the adversaries of free speech exploited the notion of hurt sentiments to justify censorship. Public intellectuals assist them by raising the wrong questions, by debating whether protests over a film, book, or song are justified, and by asking whether someone's feelings were really hurt. They should be asking instead, can hurt sentiments be a basis for banning anything? Under Article 19 of the Indian Constitution, freedom of expression may be regulated only by reasonable restrictions for state security, friendly relations, public order, decency, morality, contempt of court, defamation, or incitement to offend. But nowhere does the Constitution permit restrictions based solely on hurt sentiments or feelings. The distinction is vital. While reasons can be scrutinized and debated objectively, sentiments are personal and cannot be uniformly measured or validated. Dictionaries define sentiment as emotional attitudes or opinions influenced by feeling, and feeling as unreasoned emotional reactions. By their nature, these are subjective. What deeply offends one group may leave another unmoved. Take, for example, the case of M.F. Hussain. Some Hindus found his work as hurtful, while others didn't. It must be mentioned here that the anti-blasphemy law, Section 299 of BNS, is used to gag free speech. Section 299, which was earlier Section 295A of the IPC, says whoever, with deliberate and malicious intention of outraging the religious feelings of any class of citizens of India, by words, either spoken or written, or by signs or by visible representations or through electronic means or otherwise, insults or attempts to insult the religion or the religious beliefs of that class, shall be punished with imprisonment of either description for a term which may extend to 3 years, or with fine, or with both. Section 299 is logically untenable as it criminalizes speech based on feelings, which, as we mentioned earlier, are subjective. Therefore, it is antithetical to India's constitutional spirit as it imposes vague restrictions on freedom of expression. The extant court cases are symptomatic of the systemic toxicity that sentimentalism has generated over the decades. Sentimentalism, along with its sibling sanctimoniousness, has supplanted reason in public discourse and political debate. Ranting, conteing demagogues and intellectuals set the agenda, resulting in the silencing of dissent, throttling of creativity, and often atrocities against those who speak out in the name of soothing hurt sentiments. This trend must be reversed. As Justice Bhuyan said, there is no end to hurt sentiments in India. If a stand-up comedian says something, sentiments are hurt, and there is vandalism. Where are we heading? Swipe left for next video. The reign of hurt sentiments must be dismantled from law and public life. Only grounded, objective criteria: threat to public order, incitement to violence, defamation, obscenity should govern permissible restrictions. Otherwise, democracy will degenerate into mobocracy. The author is a freelance journalist. Views expressed in the above piece are personal and solely those of the author. They do not necessarily reflect News 18's views. Latest blogs.